Welcome to Love Fitness Studios podcast, live from Manchester, UK, speaking to entrepreneurs in the fitness, health and well-being industry, sharing stories about the real-life challenges and hustle. Now, over to your host, Nick Phillips.
Okay guys, welcome to podcast number 22. Today we have got Lee from Box Camp Fitness. How's it going, Lee?
I'm good, brother. Nice to be here, pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming. I know you've travelled over the Pennines.
I have, yeah. Snake Pass, I think we call it over in Sheffield, and it was a beautiful day. Enjoyed the ride.
Oh yeah, I remember Snake Pass. We used to go to Sheffield a lot to a club called Gatecrasher. Did you ever go? Have you heard of it?
If I say yeah, don't tell my mother and father. Yeah, I did when I was about 13. I snuck in. I was a rebel back then, but you know, it's been and gone. So yeah, I think it burnt down, didn't it?
I think it did, but that was a strange place. That place.
I can only imagine.
So Lee, I always like to go back to the start of childhood. What was childhood like for little Lee? What was school like? Take me right back.
Absolutely. So let's just roll back the years. At 14, 15 years old, I'm growing up. I'm in a multicultural household. My father, he's black as the ace of spades, as they say. He's from the West Indies, negative. Mother's white, English, very positive lady. My mum's my best friend. And growing up in this household, unbeknown to me at the time, I was actually locked in my own head. And why I say that was my father was very negative towards me. He suppressed me. Everything I tried to do, anything I tried to be, it was always, it's never good enough. Why do you want to do that? You should do this. You should be doing that. So at this point, I'm in school. I'm bunking off school. I'm messing around. I'm distracting everyone in class, and you know the whole malarkey wrapped in one. I was staying out on the streets, messing around, and one day I woke up and I thought, I'm leaving school with one GCSE. You know, the odds are pretty much stacked against me. Not getting on with my father at all. Always battling, fighting an uphill battle with my father, and I plucked up the courage to finally leave home at 16. So when I left home at 16, I stumbled across a mentor by the name of Brendan Ingle, MBE, and that's when my life started to change.
Are you an only child?
No. I had two brothers, and growing up with my brothers, my dad was he moved us into an affluent area of Sheffield, and that was his mission in order to keep us out of jail and stop us from getting in trouble. But at this point, you know, my brothers were in and out of prison. Especially one of them was in and out of prison all the time. I was in prison, but I was just locked in my own mind. But I didn't even know. And that's where things started to change and unravel and get better from 16 years old.
Why do you think, in your own words, why do you think your dad was so negative? What's your thoughts behind it?
To be honest with you, he's a hard-working man. He got married to my mother. We lived in a big house. We had a warm bed every night. We had a cooked meal every day. He's ran his business for 37, 38 years. Maybe he was just tired. Maybe he was frustrated. I don't really know. And I think if I'd asked him now, to this day, I don't think he'd tell me. So I never knew, and I never found that out. So you know, maybe one day when I ask him, he'll tell me. But until then, I'm not quite sure. I can't really answer that question.
Okay,
if I'm honest.
So you spoke about Brendan. So tell us a bit about Brendan, who he is.
So yeah, Brendan is a famous boxing coach and mentor. And like I said, I stumbled across him at 16 years of age. He took me under his wing, and then I started living with professional athletes. So everyone was boxing at the time. I was in this house with professional boxers. There was 4 or 5 of us in the house, and I remember the first day I moved out and I woke up in an empty room on a mattress, and I remember waking up thinking, right, I'm here now. I have nothing. I'm starting from ground zero. I own nothing. I have nothing, and I've gained nothing in my life. So every day when I woke up, I thought, this is a fresh start. This is my chance to get on my feet, claw back some of the years. So I was on a mission of avenging the years that I'd missed. So I'm in this house, and every day I'm hearing these professional athletes get up, go training. figuring out routines, just watching, listening, learning. Subconsciously, I'm picking things up, what they're doing, the vitamins they're taking, what they're eating, when they're going training, when they're coming home, when they're resting, recovering, watching them in the gym. And at this time, I was only 16 years old. And don't get me wrong, it was daunting to move out. I knew nothing. Didn't know how to look after myself, but I committed, and I thought, I'll commit and I'll figure the rest out as I go. So as time rolled on, Brendan pulled me one day, he said, look, you never went to school, did you? I went, no. He says, did you get bullied at school? I said, no, I didn't really get bullied. He says, so what was wrong with you? I said, I just weren't interested, Brent. Didn't have motivation, wasn't inspired. He says, right, can you read? I said, yeah. He says, can you write? I said, yeah. He says, can you spell? I went, yeah. He goes, can you do basic maths? I said, yeah. I says, do you think I'm an idiot or something? He went, no. He says, you're an ugly bastard, but there's nothing stopping you from going to university. I went, oh, Brent, I can't see myself going to uni. Anyway, he says, you're going to finish up going to university, running a successful business and becoming champion. I says, all right, Brent. At this time, I was in a negative mindset from the years accumulated by my father.
Yeah.
So it all started to roll on from there. Brendan convinced college to let me in. I didn't have the grades. He saw the director of the college and said, look, this kid's trying to change his life. I'm trying to help him. Can you help him as well? So the college director looked and he said, yeah, we'll give him a shot. Then it all started from there.
Amazing. How did you get onto Brendan? How did you find out about Brendan?
So it was weird because I was, before I actually left home, I said, look, I'm gonna go to a boxing club that I want to go to. I'm gonna carry out my vision. The only thing that saved me was my vision. No matter what anyone said to me from a young age, from as early as I can remember, I always wanted to be a professional boxer. My mother sent me to karate lessons every week. I hated it. Yeah. She just forced me to go. My dad forced me to go because they thought, well, it keeps him busy for a few hours or whatever. I hated it. Yeah. Because in my mind, I was going against my grain, my vision. Obviously, what should I say? The stigma around boxing was, oh, it's dangerous. You shouldn't do it. You're too young. All these kind of things. But I always knew it'd be right for me. So it was my father that actually came with me and took me to Brendan's gym one Saturday morning, and he left me there. And I'd gone in, and like I said, I spoke to Brendan, and then he told me what would be the best thing for me, and then it all started from there, really.
Did he? So as soon as you went in, was you sort of like, wow? Because tell me about a few of the fighters that you might have bumped into there.
So Prince Nazim Hamed, wow. Ryan Rose, Johnny Nelson. I've met Harold Graham at events. I've met loads of fighters. And when you're in when you're in boxing and you're around the world of boxing, you bump into people at shows, at events, dues, charity events, everything. So you got an abundance of names around you the whole time. Yeah. But then I aspired to be them because I saw champions. I saw something that was, parallel to my vision. So at the time I was going to college, it was coming up. It was coming towards the end, and I got the grades to go to university. So then, I couldn't believe what was happening, and I enjoyed college. I actually had a really good time when I was there. I couldn't see myself doing that a few years prior to going. So I ended up turning professional at the age of 19, like I said.
Did you have any amateurs?
I did. I had 20 amateur fights.
Yeah.
I was national champion twice. Turned professional at 19, got in the pro ranks, and then I was just going to university at the time. Right. So then the two were sort of crisscrossing.
Yeah.
Then I had a lot of people telling me, oh, you can't do both. Oh, you should choose one or the other. But this was all external voices. But the whole time, Brendan was like, no, you should do both.
Wow.
You're going to do both.
Yeah.
And it was simultaneous. I was doing both at the same time. I was like, I'm here now, let's go. And then that's when my life changed. So
what was the vision with the college then? What did you want to go down the route with? What was the end goal for the college? Was it just get qualified and see where you are, or did you want a particular job?
To be honest, I jumped in, I saw a course, it said business.
Yeah.
And obviously from being around my dad's business as a young kid.
What was your dad's business?
TV. So he was renting out TVs when you had to pay for TVs. That's how he's knocking on a bit. But so yeah, you had to put money in the TVs. And
is that what you had to do?
So no, that's what he did. He'd rented TVs out and then to people, and they used to have to put money in to watch TV. So he's been doing it so long. So he does like TV rentals.
The original Netflix.
Yeah. So he was like Netflix #1, prehistoric. So yeah, and I was around that. So I've always had a flair for business. I've always liked to do sort of business, have business etiquette. So as soon as I saw a course, I thought, I'll jump on that, and I enjoyed it. So that was it.
Fantastic. So 20 amateurs, take me to your first night as a pro. Talk me through the training camp. Talk me through what's going through your head.
I will. As much as I can remember, I'll refresh my and jog my memory. So I'm boxing. Everything's happening for me. So it comes to the point. My manager pulls me. He says, "Look, you're on Junior Witter's bill." So Junior Witter was topping the bill the night when he fought Timothy Bradley.
Why am I thinking Bin Man? Is that something?
You're thinking Rundle Monroe.
Oh, getting mistaken, Yeah.
Rundle Monroe.
Right,
you're thinking, he did used to be a bin man. But so Junior Witter versus Timothy Bradley, big fight in Nottingham, big arena.
Yeah.
I've never boxed in an arena like that before. Jumping straight in. Excuse me. So the fight got announced. I was going to college. I was going to university. I was telling people about my fight. I was pumped up for it. I was training really hard.
Yeah.
Training went fantastic. Dieting for the fight. First time I've ever really done a diet. This is the pro ranks now. This is the big boys game. So the fight's coming closer, and I felt the pressure. It was on the day I started to feel the pressure, and it was a different feeling. I'd never felt this before, and I felt the pressure, and I was like, this is a big event. And then we got to the arena, done the weigh-in and everything the day before. It was fight night, it was time. I went out, I had my nice shorts made and everything else, boxed amazing for the first 3 rounds. And I gassed out at the end of the third, and I don't know what was wrong with me. I was just so tired, and I think it was just the accumulation of pressure over the coming months. And I was just moving around, and I stopped throwing punches, and then the referee just jumped in, he stopped the fight. And it felt like my world had come crashing down on me again. So I remember coming out of the ring and seeing my family. And I remember just giving my mum a hug, and I just broke down because I felt that the whole thing and the whole run that I had, it just fucking come to a crash. Anyway, the quote that I saw, I remember going back to the dressing room, and I saw Brendan, and he said, get changed, get your stuff back on, and get out there and go and watch the boxing. And I looked at him and I was like, Bren, I've just lost, my world's come crashing down. He says, listen, be in the gym tomorrow morning, you're fine, you're all right. Nothing was wrong with me. It was just that I gassed out in the fight, and the referee jumped in because I wasn't throwing anything back. So the next day, I went to the gym again. And it resonates with me when there's a quote which I mentioned earlier, which was Thomas Edison, when he had the factory, and the factory ended up burning down with no insurance, and one of his co-workers went to him, Thomas, what are we going to do? He says, we'll start rebuilding from tomorrow morning. Time rolls on, so you gotta be on it,
I love that. He's not giving you a chance to even think, has it?
No.
He's just said, go watch the boxing, get back into training. What an amazing, inspirational guy.
He was, and the fact is, this is what Brendan said. He said, look, if you want to be successful in life, and this sticks with me to this day, and this is what I try and spread amongst to the young community. He said, if you smoke, drink, do drugs, gamble, you're going to have problems. You tell lies, you rip people off, someone's going to shoot you. You have one woman, got enough problems. You get 2 at once, you're going to have plenty of problems. And, that resonates with me, and I had to block all that out, everything. I thought, you know what, I want to make a good run of this. I've got an opportunity, I've got a second chance. Someone or something gave me a second chance at life, because where I was when I was 14, 15, the mentality I had, I didn't give a damn. I mean, I was staying in bed till 12, 1 o'clock every day.
Was you?
Do you know what I mean? Like, so where my life is now to then, which God knows which road I would have gone down if I'd not have come across Brendan.
What was your circle of friends like back when you were 14 before you met Brendan? Was it?
They were all right. They were good lads. I mean, we were young. We used to mess around, but just doing what boisterous young guns do. And I wouldn't. To me, Nick, when people say, "Oh, my circle of friends, I wasn't around, I was around the wrong crowd," no. Your external is a direct reflection of your internal. It's what's going on. My crowd of friends now, they're all winners, they're all achievers, they're all successful people. Because maybe I've attracted that with an abundance mindset rather than a victim mindset. I had a victim mentality, so I'm going to attract that. Like here, I'm sat here with you. You know, my vision and my platform and what we're trying to build with our online health and wellness platform, we're sat here now because we're on the same wavelength. Yeah. So, you know, I'd get a good mate out of this, hopefully. You're my friend, and you know, we're attracting each other in that sort of sense. So,
yeah,
you know.
100%, mate. I love that. 100%.
Yeah.
So take me back to that first day back at training. You've just had your first loss. Your head's all over the place. How do you pick yourself up and get going again?
So Brendan, actually, I got to the gym. He rang me. He says, "Where are you?" I said, "Bren, I'm walking up to the gym." He says, "Hurry up, you're late." I was like, okay. So
old school.
He is. I've got to the gym. He says, "Right, get that litter picker, get that black bag. We're going out picking up the litter." I'm just thinking, fucking hell, Bren. So anyway, I've got it, and we're going outside and we're picking it up. And it was funny because you learnt about human nature. And now I understand why we did things like that. So you'd be picking up the litter, someone would walk past and say, "Oh, you're doing a fantastic job, well done. Keep the area clean, fantastic." Some people will walk past and throw a bit of litter next to you. You know, so you learn human nature, you learn life and social skills. And this was a very important part of my upbringing because it keeps you humble. And without humble beginnings, it's very hard to rebuild when something happens where your world comes crashing down. And I suppose the majority of people out there have been through these situations and circumstances. So humility and being humble is very, very important in life. So that was the day, and then we just got back on from there and picked ourselves up and carried on. And that's the moral of the story, like, never stop. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and it's easier said than done, but it's possible.
You've shown that 100%.
Absolutely. So and that's where we left off, and there we go. And Brendan mentored me all the way through up to my throughout my teen years, up to my late 20s, and unfortunately 3 years ago, you know, God bless him, he passed away. And that was a tough day for me. That was a tough day. And
do you mind talking about that?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. So I'll tell you about that day. One of the lads from the gym texted me and says, "Look, just come and see me tonight," because obviously Brendan's in hospital. And I said, "Okay, cool." So he took me up. His name's Amir Khan. His nickname, we all call him at the gym, Killer Khan. Former professional. He's now a fireman actually, and he comes in the gym and he's one of the coaches.
Amir Khan from Bolton.
No,
right.
No. This guy's better looking than him.
Is it? Probably so, fire.
He'll love that if he hears that.
Yeah.
So anyway, he takes me up to hospital, and we get there. We've gone in, and Brendan's laid on the bed, and I didn't know like all this was going on. I didn't know.
Had he been poorly before?
Yeah, but obviously as the years went on and certain things, and one day I was actually in the car with Brendan, and we was going to the steam. We used to go to the steam room every few nights, like twice a week or something like that. There was a nice Kenwood Hall up in Sheffield. We used to use various places, also Rotherham, Holiday Inn. They looked after us, looked after the fight, said you can come in and use our facilities. You know, you send the business here, that's fine. So that's what we did. And I remember driving in the car, I'm sat in the passenger seat, and Brendan, and we're sort of coming up to this junction, but Brendan's gone down the other side of the junction where there's sort of oncoming traffic that was meant to come in. And then I was like, "Oh, Bren, you shouldn't be down here, it should be that way." And so he's turned back and he's gone down the other one. And that was my first like light bulb moment, as if to say, "Is Brendan all right? You know, is he thinking straight," sort of thing. So that was that. And then I've gone up to the hospital. I go back to where Amir took me up. So Amir's took me to the hospital. I've gone in. It just hit me. I thought, wow, something's not right. And then, you know, we spoke to the family and everything else, and obviously Brendan's wife was there and everything else, and hung around for a good couple of hours. Left, went home, and then the next couple of days, I remember I was actually with a client, and I got a text off my friend Matthew, who's usually on our Clubhouse group in the mornings. He said, "Sorry to hear the news, bro." And I just knew before I even opened the text. I just thought, yeah, you know, Brendan's passed. And then obviously it was on TV everywhere I looked. It was on Sky News and TV, on your news feed, Facebook, socials. And I just put on a brave face. I just thought, you know what, I'm all right. I'm not going to let it affect me. I kind of saw it coming and everything else. I had a great life. And then I bottled up this emotion. I put on a front. Everything I'd learned the whole time of what Brendan taught me in life, I sort of resisted, and I put on a front. I thought, I'm going to put on a brave face. And that's what I was doing. And then the day come for the funeral, and in the morning I felt fine. We went inside the church. It was held at the cathedral, actually, in Sheffield, in the town centre. So I was one of the pallbearers, and I had the great honour of carrying Brendan out. And I think there was Johnny Nelson, a few other named and ex-fighters that carried Brendan in, and the few of us were going to rotate and carry him out. And I remember the pallbearers were sat on one side, so you had the whole sort of half the city here facing the front, and then you had the rest of the people there facing this way. So I was stood on the side, so everybody could see me because I was just sort of on the edge. And I'm there, and then Brendan was coming in, and the pallbearers were bringing him in, and then I don't know what hit me out of anything. It just hit me like a train, and I just broke down in front of everyone. You know, my brother was there, came over to see if I was all right. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. And as much as I try to resist, the emotion comes out. So in life, as much as we try to hide the emotion and what we're truly feeling, it will always find its way out. And unfortunately, with me, I do put on a brave face at times, and the whole time I was putting on a brave face, you know, the mask fell off, and it hit me in front of everyone. So
wow, powerful.
Yeah, that was it. That was
so
it's intense.
Yeah, it is. How did you get back into training after that? Because this guy had been so important for not only your fighting, but obviously turning you into the man you are now. How did you get, like, how did you literally get yourself back into it?
I spent more time with Brendan than any member of my family.
Did you?
Than my dad.
Yeah.
I spent more time with Brendan than my own dad. You know, like, even just doing things around the gym, bits and bobs, and helping him out and everything else. And I spent so much time, but the whole time he was teaching us, he was showing us about, you know, what it is, what human nature's about, what life's about. And you see the bigger picture. You even see the bigger picture beyond boxing. Brendan was I had an argument with Brendan once. He was trying to say that my degree was more important than a world title, which I disagreed with him. And he says, "You're mad." He says, "You're off your rocker." I says, I probably am, Bren. But he says, you should treasure that university degree because it's worth more than a world title. And I still disagree. But anyway, that's my own thing. And after the funeral and everything else, you know, I went home, and then I had a bad week because I was just in a bad place again.
Do you ever turn to alcohol or anything like that?
I didn't because I fell back on the basics. Don't get me wrong. I felt, oh, do I need a drink? But I just, you know what, I woke up and I thought, look, it's not going to make me feel any better.
Yeah.
So I started going to the gym.
Yeah.
I was training.
Yeah.
I was just going through the motions in the boxing club, falling back on the basics. I was running through the motions, and then I was going to the leisure club at night and literally pumping weights to wear my body out, so that I slept at night. And I had a week of that, and then I was fine. And then I just got back on with life.
Did
as you do.
Who trained you then from then on?
So Dominic took over the gym. Not took over, but he was you know, the role of the gym anyway, and he was coming through, and you know, we all go in, and it's full of the pros, and we just carry on where we left off.
Is Dominic a relation to Brendan?
He's Brendan's son.
Right. Okay. So he's carried it on.
Yeah. So he carries on the legacy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a big hit that point. But again, everything that you taught, and Brendan would say, he always used to say, you know, when I'm dead and gone, you've got to learn to use your brain and everything I've taught you, because I'm not going to be around forever. And he used to say that, but I used to brush it off.
So, take me back now to March 26th, I think it was. Boris Johnson comes onto the network and says all gyms must close. Was you training for a fight at that point, or was you, so last year, the first lockdown, what sort of stage were you at? Have we jumped too far forward on that?
No. It's alright.
So go on, tell me about, was you training for a fight? Where was your business? Was you doing PTs? What was you doing then?
So I actually had a knee injury a few years ago. So I was in rehab for that. As soon as I got over that, I was training regular, ready, getting in fight condition. Coming up to that, and then COVID hit. But I was already running a business on the side as well. Right. So simultaneously running the business. So in my mind, I was always wanting to take the business online. So I was doing that before COVID, before I even knew about COVID. COVID hit, we just then forced everything out online. And just got ready.
Straight away you thought, let's go.
Yeah, 100%. But in a way it was a blessing, because it just sort of, as you know, you just dive in and do it and learn on the job and learn as you go, and that's basically what we did.
And what's that business then?
So the box camp, box camp fitness online. So we took that. So we were writing online coaching programs, gymless programs, and basically pushing it out and just building an online presence. So from then we did, bits and bobs of marketing, going online, getting clients, and really taking it to that sort of aspect. So
How are you finding the transition over from offline onto online?
It was always a desire. So not really. I mean, the in-person clients that we were doing, I had a few anyway who I've done little bits and bobs with throughout the years. So it's nice to have that, as you know, from a former trainer yourself. It's nice just to have that, and taking them on the pads, a little bit of box fit and a bit of fun. But the online is where the business is. That's what, that's the grain and the holy grail.
I think so. I think everyone's always gonna miss that community side of things and being together. I think you're never gonna change that. But I feel like this could be a hybrid version, or this could be an extra top of what I'm tend to find now is people that could get to the gym maybe 2-3 times a week can actually train about 5-6 times now, because they can just jump in front of the screen. So the results are getting better and better.
Like, I think I got asked this the other day, and someone said, but not everyone wants to go online. And I was like, look, at the end of the day, you look at Amazon, you look at Apple, like these are the big firms. They got pushing power. That's what they're doing. So if they're doing that and they're managing to add value to so many people on a mass level, you're doing something right.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it, isn't it?
100%.
It is a good way.
Yeah.
So what's next for box camp? What's the vision?
We're pushing this out. We're up and ready. We're having our portal built as we speak. It's almost ready to launch. We're going to push that out in good time. I'm back in training. I say I'm 32 years old now. I'm going to exit the boxing game at 37, 38, and use this platform also to promote the business as well. So, everything's sort of come in good time. Everything's come together simultaneously, and it's just a case of pushing that out now and getting it out to people and adding as much value as we can.
Definitely, 100%. I'll be keeping an eye on that. So we spoke a little bit offline about kids coming through. I've got 2 young boys, and I'm encouraging them to get into some sort of martial arts. So my 6-year-old does Thai boxing at the minute because he just enjoys it.
Okay.
But you were similar to me. My parents were like, don't do boxing, it's a violent sport. What's your advice to parents and kids that want to get into some sort of combat sport?
Look, the thing is, Nick, with a lot of parents, what I've experienced through boxing, university, and I met a lot of people through it, some of the kids don't want to be there. Like me, when I was doing karate when I was younger, I was forced to do it. I didn't like it, didn't enjoy it. But maybe sometimes it's the parents trying to live through the kids. And it's not the right way to go about it, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, you're going against the grain. If they have a vision, let them live that vision. If they want to be an astronaut, let them be an astronaut. Like, don't tell them they can't do it. Like, let them live their vision, because great fulfillment comes from that. And I can honestly say, in my life, I'm not one that's going to say, what if I'd have been a boxer? What if? I'm fulfilled in that part of my life. And it's a nice feeling to have that. Just like yourself setting up your business, you'll never ask, what if I didn't, I should have done it. And that's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible position to be in. So please allow your children to do what they want. Let them live and be their own vision and be their own man, and they'll work it out. Remember, my father used to try and push us through education. He tried to push me through doing karate and all this. Nothing worked out for me. I was in a mess. By the age of 16, I was in a mess. And it's no fault of my dad's. Maybe that's just how he thought he had to bring me up, from his culture, from his background, from his parents. Because it's learnt through generation. It's generational knowledge. It's like we eat certain things because our parents ate it, and then their parents ate it, and then their grandparents ate it. That's why we do it. So it's all learned systems and behaviour. If we can adapt, especially the new generation, it's like, I've got a cousin and he wants to be a YouTuber. I say, go for it. Go and do it. So a new sort of ecosystem is emerging. And I think it's very important just to allow your kids to be free and let them do what they need to do. I mean, we can guide them, but we're not their mentors.
I love your saying. I love you saying it. Say it. Get into the camera.
Look, your parents and your friends, they're not your mentors. They tell us what we want to hear, but not what we need to hear. A mentor will tell you directly what you need to hear, and that's always a good thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It might hurt. You might not like it. I used to hate being held accountable. You held me accountable today to be here. We made an agreement, I'll be here at 2. I was here at 1 o'clock waiting at the garage over there because I wanted to be accountable for myself. You was keeping me accountable.
Yeah.
If I didn't have you keeping me accountable, Nick, it might have never materialised. So it's good to have a mentor to keep you accountable.
I love that. Love that. Like you say, I think everyone should have a mentor, and it's not your parents. We see it all the time. I've got a 6 going on 7. He's a talented footballer. He's played from a very young age. Deep down, it doesn't make his heart sink though. He's only young. He's been at Man City pre-academy since the age of 3, doing really well. But he's not got that. Now, we bought him some rollerblades.
Yeah.
For some reason, he's obsessed with ice hockey.
Yeah.
When he put them rollerblades on, he has got a smile from ear to ear. And do you know what I mean? You just got to give him space, haven't you? You just got to give him space, 100%. Let them do what they've wanted to do. And if he turns around and says, I don't want to play football anymore, I want to do ice hockey. It's like the guy in Clubhouse this morning. Did you think he was going to say ping pong? Did you? On Clubhouse. Do you know?
I missed that bit.
Did you miss a bit? There was a guy that had gone. He was from New York. Have you spoken it? He's from New York.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Yes.
So he's from the.
He was from the project. Willie, weren't it? Or something.
That's like that, it. Yeah, but he said he got into ping pong. I thought he was going to say basketball or football or something.
Yeah. I remember that.
Ping pong. Go for it. But that's the key, isn't it? Man. That is the key. Just give the kids space and let them.
Look, 100%. I can. And I'm not one just saying it for the sake of saying it, Nick. I've lived it. I've lived when I was living with my parents. Nice house, nice area, nice neighbourhood. It didn't do anything for me. Didn't do anything for me, brother. As soon as I moved out into I wouldn't say an uncomfortable environment, but an environment that was challenging me every day.
100%, yeah.
You know, you weren't at the gym. Oh, where were you this morning? How come you weren't in the gym? Why weren't you training? You know, people are holding you accountable. And if that makes young children fulfilled doing what they love to do, if they want to hold a mic and sing, if they want to write poems and it makes them happy, we got to let them do it.
Of course.
I have 3 nieces, lovely, beautiful nieces. I don't have any kids yet myself. And I see that, and I think that obviously a lot of young people, they absorb, they're watching all the time. It's learned behaviours. They pick things up. You can tell them, but it's necessarily, sometimes it goes in through one ear and out the other because they've watched and they think, okay, let's do what they do, not what they say we should do. So I think that's important. And yeah, absolutely. 2
more questions. Any regrets over your years? Anything that you thought, no, I shouldn't have done that? What's your thoughts on looking back, or do you just think it's all been lessons? Any regrets?
Yes, one regret: invest more in myself. 100%. Just plow everything into myself. Don't buy shit. Invest in yourself. Plow everything into yourself, because I've learned over time, you're not investing in the business. When someone says, shall we invest in you a bit? No, you invest in yourself, you back in yourself. And that's the most important thing. Like people say, oh, I don't want to invest a certain amount into my business or whatever. I've invested a lot of money into our business, a lot. But I don't see it like that. I see it, I'm investing in myself. And that's one mistake that I'm not going to make again. Years ago, you know, I used to question, oh, should I spend this on this for myself? Should I buy a new pair of running trainers? They're too much. No, man, you should invest that money in yourself before it goes anywhere. So my only regret would be invest more in myself that I never did.
Amazing. I want to touch on that in a second. I think one of the Adams said a really good thing. Like, if you're a joiner, you're going to buy tools. Do you know what I mean? If you're a plumber, you're going to buy tools. If you're a coach, you need to buy your tools, which is an investment. So how do you? There's a lot of BS mentors out there. Maybe you see them now all over the place. How would you find a good mentor? What would you be looking out for? If you're looking for someone to help you take you to that next level, you should, because like I say, there's all sorts out there. What would you be looking for?
100%. So am I serious? Can you say, and be honest, am I serious in what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
You know that. You know that without me trying to convince you, but you're just telling me, this guy sounds serious. Yeah, he's telling me what he went through. He went through that. There's no BS there, because you can see the passion in my voice. And with boxing, you get very good. You get very good at reading body language, mannerisms, because you have to thrive and survive, or you get your ass kicked. Simple as that. So anyone out there who's a mentor who says that they're a coach and they can add value to your life and they can help you, you'll see it. You'll see that passion. You'll see if they are genuine in what they're saying. The most important thing is if they believe in what they're saying, if they say it with intent, if they believe in what they're saying. And you can always tell that. So anyone out there looking for a mentor, just, don't just hear what someone says, listen to what they say, because you'll pick up on that. And that's my advice. And go to someone who's done it. Don't go to any Tom, Dick and Harry as such. Go to someone who has that passion, who wants to help, who wants to add value to your life genuinely. And that's my advice. And that's all I can really say.
Great advice. Yeah. Do your research. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Find out stories. So we've obviously connected via Clubhouse. It's a new platform.
Amazing.
What's your thoughts on Clubhouse?
I love it. I love it. I've never really been big on social media. When Facebook first emerged, I was actually in college. So I signed up to Facebook and I was using it regular. Then I came off Facebook, and then it sort of got left behind, and then I come back on and it had all changed in the configuration. So I just sort of left it in the background. We'd set the business up, we got the business on there, and we've only just started, really sort of configuring how to use it to the advantage of the business. So the other platforms are great. My all-time favourite is Clubhouse. I like to talk, I like to connect with people direct, and it's perfect for myself. Like yourself, it's perfect for people who've got a story, and I believe everyone has a story. It's just having the courage to put it out there. Amazing platform for connecting.
I agree. 100%. I agree. I think it's been a game changer, especially the rooms that we've been into together. I feel like it is. It's just listening to people's stories as well. You can sit there and listen. You can put your bit in if you want, and it's like at the minute. I just hope it doesn't change. I just love the way it is at the minute.
It's good, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah. I just don't want Zuckerberg to buy it and just.
I know. And
ruin it.
we connect most mornings, and we've got to know each other through Clubhouse, and it's amazing. We live on the doorstep. I'm Sheffield, you're Manchester. Yeah. And it's great, and I'd like to say I've made a new friend out of it, so you can't ask for more than that. I think it's going to get bigger. I think if we hit it now as it's emerging, and the same happened with Instagram. Started off sort of at the back end, it exploded. I think the era of Instagram was 2016, 2017 when it really started to explode. And I think if we can get, on Clubhouse now, ready for that takeoff, you'll be on your way. And I think that's going to be the new social media,
force. Get you on it, Nathan. We need to get you on.
Send him an invite.
I think you're on Android, are you?
Yeah, I'm
on Android. They don't change it over.
You have to change.
Yeah, you're missing out on that.
You are. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Lee, for coming in. But
Pleasure.
Alright guys, so what I'll do is I'll put all your handles, I'll put all your the website and everything on the bottom of this, but thank you again. Give us one of them.
Bang. Nice one, brother.